right in the heart with a silver bullet.
Yeah. I think they plotting on me. Don't wipe their feet when they enter the lab. I feel a cold stare. Think I ain't looking. Maybe cause I'm focused. No hands out for the hopeless. Funny bullets, I caught them shots. Another piece of the puzzle connected dots. You can find the truth in laughter and liquor. One more shot to an empty bottle. If she gon' walk it like a model for me, like I don't see her intentions all in my scope. At a time we were just friends with advice to land. Nothing special, I was dead broke, but we still got hope. Don't take my words, just pack the issue that raw dough. Just pack the issue that raw dough. Pack the issue that raw dough. To the people that listen, to my people, they know that I do care. Put their hands in the air, rocking side to side. Now my work, yeah, it's time to ride. Where my niggas at? My niggas ain't my niggas no more. Push me to the back, label to change up his swag. I do it for us, I'm so glad. Don't rock it the sheet gate, wooden beats or all type of African shit. Just rock a table fade, swagger tailor made. Polo corners and fly kicks. Just polo corners and fly kicks. Exclusive shit, not get big. Keep it coming, just don't stop. The revolution starts with shots.
I'm respectful to my people, and I want to represent my people. And I don't want to be a bad representative. I can't be blind, make the blind, lead the blind. We're all fighting shit.
Now my mama said, baby, act like you got sense. They act like I only act right for rent. Been living in purgatory, but I'm nosing for heaven. Not sure if I'm getting in, cause I ain't paid a reverend. Who looking at me when I ain't looking, judging my character? I can't put down my guard on this planet, packing the camera. Ready for my close-up, the lens gets bigger. Won't play me on BET, cause I am not a nigga. My heart is like a powder keg, ready to explode. Smell like strange food, cause I'm America's cologne. It started with the hello, think you're a nice fellow. You're ballin' like Carmelo, you treat you like Othello. L.A.R. we the stars, turn a rapper to a pocket. Bulletproof 306, keep your hands in your pocket. Jordan rules for my life, you contain them, can't stop them. I'm living sky high, so the clouds can't drop them. My life is like a miracle, my words are just superior. I'm edible, I'm audible, I'm digital, I'm visual. Spit like Komodo, go like Bruce Lee, Roy beating the mean as bad as Mofo in the dojo. Life is so amazing and raps like Jesus. They said hip hop is dead, but today look like Easter.
Was good. It's been a minute that I did a live, so it's nighttime or whatever. So I'm gonna get to the topic. As you can see, do it for the algorithm. Do it for the vine. I ain't gonna do it. With the money that's been made on social media, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. People have to really grasp with the concept that some of these people are just doing it for the algorithm because they're doing it to you're doing it for views. And everybody will say, yeah, everybody's doing it for views. To a degree, yes, but you're not gonna take the salacious side for no reason. You're doing it for attention because this is TV now. So I say that because you have this situation going on in Mississippi with Nolan Wells, and you have Brandon Tatum just hopping on. I'm gonna show people what it is. You got Charleston White like early in the week going off, or last week was it, going off about what was going on with him in the situation here in Houston. You have people like, you saw the thing with Nick Fuentes talking to Hunter Biden. It's another guy that just got beat up on camera. It's a Mexican guy who wanted to follow in the footsteps of Chud the Builder. You can kind of say, I would say, Instagram, Twitter, aka X, in some ways, because it can be just a straight up softcore, hardcore, OnlyFans type show. Because hey, man, if you show enough skin, you're gonna do it for the algorithm, right? Some of this stuff where some of the delineation talk. It's doing it for the algorithm. You know what I mean? Whether you have, because you have people anti everything. If somebody goes left, then somebody else is going to go right just for the algorithm. So sometimes people forget that, you getting baited in, you getting rage baited, you getting played. And kind of like those videos, the video starts out one way and you're watching it like, oh, let me see where this goes. And it just really stops and goes stagnant. And now you've been watching it for, 30 seconds a minute. And you're like, man, I just got played. Because people need your attention for a certain amount of time for views and clicks and just entertainment value. So, and I saw one of the things, not one, but there's a million clips online of Dean and Adrian Broner, right? And one of them, he was like, look, I really am smart, but I just act dumb for y'all on camera. He do a lot of silly stuff, but people I remember not right before that him and AB got together, he was going viral for being disrespectful and getting into fights. You know what I mean? So even with the political debates, the fake political debates, like the Jubilee things, it's like, yo, this is they doing it for the algorithm. And some people, if you see the thumbnail will sell their soul for the algorithm. That's where this gets ridiculous. When you see a person as one thing for years, and then all of a sudden they do a 180 and you looking like, who the hell is this? And it's pretty much it's the same formula sometimes as WWE. The good guy turned bad guy, the bad guy turned good guy, the good guy turned anti-hero. It's that. And a lot of times, man, people, you gotta ask yourself, should you take people as seriously as you think? Because sometimes it's like, oh man, this cat this is all for show. It might be entertaining. It might be, how can I say that, scandalous. It might be it might antagonize you, it might tick you off, but you gotta, this is why people are doing it. They're doing it to get you riled up for the algorithm. And that's why at some point, because we're addicted to the phone. We're addicted to the phone. So now everybody in the world has an opportunity to gain your attention. And that's why, you got people going live, man. I mean, they going live, and I'm like, and I could be watching one thing or listening to something and it flips to something else, and I'm like, why? How did I get here? But at the same time, I've seen so many lives where, this is the topic. The topic is hella disrespectful, but you're trying to reel people in with this topic. You get what I'm saying? And you're like, why are you doing this? You know why they're doing it. And people have a need to be entertained. So, some people are willing to go down that rabbit hole with you. That's why sometimes when we had these conversations, like, and I hate to do that, but I got to do it. People like Brandon Tatum, you can understand he's going to always consistently be against black people. Brandon Tatum like that. The Hodge twins was like that. They vacillate. You know, Candace Owens really like that. She vacillates, but you're gonna get that. You know, I forgot the guy, the older guy. I forgot his damn name. You know, but it's always, I used to be a Democrat, but now I saw the light and become Republican. So, you know, F all you Negroes. And it's like, okay. But it's that. You get what I'm saying? So they're gonna always do that. Always. They're gonna always be anti-black because that's what it is. Like I said, like when I brought up Charleston White, it's gonna always be the I'm with black people 1 minute, I'm with white people the next. Y'all, you know, y'all are degenerate, and that's why y'all got an issue. To I'm in here smoking weed with a sex worker, talking crazy on, doing degenerate stuff, and it's like, oh, okay, right. You just, you know, you're gonna be a hypocrite. Got you. I understand it. You know, like, oh boy, I understand it now. Like, that's what it goes on. Yeah, I get you right, man. So same thing when I was saying, like the lady, like you got ladies a lot of times, it's the sex work, you know. It's like, okay. And what winds up happening, and I say do it for the algorithm partially, because people are sell their soul to be in the algorithm, because once you start down one rabbit hole, you're gonna have to be the person to get yourself out of it, because you're gonna see something, you're gonna click it, cool. Like if you click sports stuff, you're gonna get a lot of sports stuff. If you click food, you're gonna get a lot of food. If you click politics, you're gonna get a lot of politics. But unfortunately, you're gonna have to understand people are gonna do the most. People are gonna do the most to get your attention. And the problem with that is, it's just like modern hip hop. You're actually looking for the artists that make the music you actually want to hear, but all the stuff you don't want to hear is everywhere. It's the same thing, because now you have the issue, and I gotta be fair when I say it this way, because I forgot that Matt Rife. I think that's Matt Rife, the comedian. Him and a bunch of other comedians were going super viral on social media, and then it just stopped. You get what I'm saying? And it's like, why? And it was like, yo, people, you know, the algorithm, quote unquote, people change it and it moves on to somebody else. The platforms follow the wave sometimes and pick people up, and they get so big that now you're too big. Let's push you to the side, or now it's time for you to go on the road. But what would you do to get put in that box? Forgot about one. I saw Kendra G. I did, you know, I guess she's on OWN Network now, doing the, you know, the show that she does basically. So, and I know she was doing that before Kevin Samuels was doing it, but Kevin got more famous about it. He just passed away. But the algorithm can get you, that's the concept. The algorithm can get you to the quote unquote higher heights. You got to remember, Cardi B was on Instagram just basically twerking and stripping. You had a bunch of quote unquote influencers who like, some of the cats went viral, and this can be in a good way and a bad way, by the way. You know, some people didn't sell their soul, just some people blew up. But like I remember when Kev on Stage started on YouTube, early on. You know, I'm like, that's dope. You know, that whole crew, him, Tony Baker, Doughboy, like it was just a lot of people. Same thing, like I remember Big Ja was doing those skits. I forgot the El Haj. Like it, you know, what is it? I was about to say Lisa Ray, but it's not Lisa Ray. Old girl that made Insecure. she was the Adventures of the Awkward Black Girl. I think I said it right. I might have said it wrong, but she was on YouTube. I saw, I remember seeing Chadwick Boseman on YouTube years and years ago, and then seeing him in movies. So, but that was before it was monetized, before, the quote unquote, they had all these things to go with the algorithm. And part of that is they'll tell you, yo, if you do this, if you do that, if you do this, if you do that, it's going to grow, it's going to this, it's going to that. You'll be put in this space and that space. And you have so many people like, no, that's not what happens. And what winds up happening sometimes, and it's difficult for people to deal with, is people with a lot of personality gonna be fine on social media. True be told, I kind of I'm bland most of the time. My personality is definitely you'll be surprised. Like I'm really one of them people. I will probably get kicked off of this joint just by how I talk, and even when I'm joking around, I'm extra. Like I'm over the top. Like, oh, what? I didn't expect that. People who know me, they like, oh yeah, you can't do that. But people with personality are cool. I'm not talking about that. What I'm talking about is, and I hate to do it, but people get on YouTube and you do social media, and people have looked at it as a career. So what winds up happening is, if it ain't going your way, I know exactly what to do. All I got to do is cause some ruckus. And I've said it before, if you black, you know what I'm saying? If you black, as long as you fit a stereotype that's considered negative in the black community, you're gonna be that's the role. Generally, there are people who don't do that, but generally that's what it is. You get what I'm saying? If you extra hood, if you extra quote unquote ghetto, you fit the ghetto stereotype, social media gonna love you. If you fit the sellout stereotype, social media gonna love you. You know what I mean? If you fit the hypersexual stereotype, social media gonna love you. If you fit the what do you call that? Well, God dog it. I can't think of the damn term. Oh shit. Because people do this all the time. It's fitness. If you fill out the Mandingo stereotype, if you fit the Mandingo stereotype, people gonna love you. It's like, oh, that's why, when you black, it's not a really. If you don't fit that, then it's like, Same thing I was talking about earlier with the situation with when I was saying the delineation part of it. So getting likes comes down to who's the most extreme. Yes. Think about Logan, like Jake and Logan Paul. Think about how they got famous. Think of like doing just wild stuff. I remember, and I say this, I remember when the whole prank thing was kept going viral. Pranking was going viral. Racing cars was going viral, right? Just get a Hellcat or a Charger or what, an M5 or something like. Just get something and be out here, just Corvette, just be in the streets wild and filming yourself. Cool. The girls with the twerking videos, that was always viral. Then it was people cussing each other out. All just wild situations. Let's just go off. Viral. And I say that to say, And sometimes it's not even you. I remember when 5150 show. Uh 5150, shout out to Corey Hogan. I remember when Zoe was on there, Zoe Williams, right? And I never forget when he got into it with Aries Spears. Really, Aries was annoying both of them, Corey and Zoe, but Zoe wound up, getting at him, right? But I never forget how I was watching it. I'm like, oh, that was wild. But the next day it was on TMZ. And I'm like, wait, when did TMZ give a fuck about? Whoa, time out. What is this? And it's like, oh, the BS, y'all. Okay, if something wild happened, you front and center. You get what I'm saying? That was the same thing. Like that was part of the whole thing with I hate to do it. The IRLs, the IRL, it's a lot of just, being overly animated, doing extreme stuff. Sometimes it's not like disrespectful, but it's like, oh, let me go do some crazy stuff. Let me make faces. Oh, what's God? Oh my God. Oh, it's like, okay, I get it. You just, you do shock jock stuff. And I say, and what I'm saying people gotta do it for the algorithm is because at a certain point, you gotta you gotta understand people are like, man, what if I can make $1 million doing this a year? Yeah, I might. So what? I might act a fool. Whatever. It is what it is. So you gotta understand, people will take that route. As long as I can be. You don't have to be thought provoking. You just have to be emotion provoking. You don't have to. A lot of times, people. Do you need substance? No, you don't. You don't need substance. No, you don't. Substance is good, but all you got to do is find something trending and talk about it. And fit a stereotype while you're doing it. That's it. I hate to say it, but because the internet gave people the possibility to be their own character. And some people will play that, gonna play that role. And then you wind up, the harsh thing I'll say about that is this. This is like us content creators, we're not actors. The vast majority, we're not comedians. Most people are not. We're not artists. You get what I'm saying? Like that. So what you put out there, people, that's going to be you. Even when you're out there doing the most for attention. Like, no, that's just who I am. That's my persona online. Nobody's trying to hear that because it's you. You get what I'm saying? It's not anybody else. It's you. So what winds up happening is you'll see somebody sell themselves out to quote unquote be somebody that they're not, for the opportunity to get more views, and then it winds up biting them in the butt. And I hate to do it, but it's the same thing when you see these like quote unquote OnlyFans models. You get what I'm saying? You see them OnlyFans chicks, 1 minute they posting online about, oh, I made this amount of money in 2 years, and then the next minute it's like, I shouldn't have did that. It's like, bro, that's not nobody's fault but yours. No, nobody. You chose to do that. You felt like that pays. It had a history of paying. You went down that road. It paid you to run with. Now your run is over. What we talking about? You get what I'm saying? And I think not gonna say he sold his soul. I'm not gonna say that, but I'm using examples of people who, like back in the day. Let me back up. Well, I'm gonna go what I was about to say. Cali Muscle I like Cali Muscle. You remember Cali Muscle was lifting weights. He was making rap videos. He was doing skits. Um, he was into the car thing. He mukbang. He was like he was doing all kinds of stuff. But he was like, I'm gonna be an entertainer, basically. Was he doing anything crazy? No. You know, am I gonna say he sold his soul for views? No, because he was always entertaining. You know what I'm saying? But you had people trying to be like that too. It's like, okay, well, because he comes off as more genuine than people I'm talking about. Even I would say, like back in the day. Well, I mean, before Tommy Sotomayor got banned, right? Same thing. He was, at a certain point he was being salacious, but he came from a background of shock jocks, if I'm not mistaken, like working under shock jocks. So he was doing shock jock stuff. So it was like, oh, okay, all right, he's viral for this stuff, but he became the same thing with Charleston White. To me, is the same thing with Tommy Sotomayor. They are who they talk about. You know what I'm saying? So it becomes, watching a hypocrite live and live in color talk disparagingly about people that are just like them. It's like, okay. Same thing, like when I say sell your soul or something like that, that's what you could talk about, like with the Fresh and Fits and stuff like that. Because it's like, yo, we're gonna do this. This is a run. We're gonna run with it. Blah blah blah. Yo, and then it went from dissing chicks all the time to to disrespecting every ethnicity, to fake politics, to just basically, trying to cause trouble everywhere. Same shit. Doing it for the algorithm. And I've learned, over the years, that's part of the whole political kick, whether it be Democrat or Republican. It's one of those things where they just, they gotta be over the top. If you look at the Young Turks, it's over the top. It's over the top. Roland Martin's over the top. What is it? Alex Jones, over the top. When he was on it, he ain't on it no more. But Nick Fuentes, over the top. Candace Owens, over the top. All that Turning Point stuff is over the top. It's just let me just be out of my mind about stuff on camera. And you wind up in a situation where I go, well, not you, mate, but I start looking at people like, yeah, okay. And even the politics reminds me is the same cultured hypocrisy as the religious stuff when you see it online. Because you see a lot of hypocritical preachers on social media too, talking about things, and it's like, bro, wait, time out. You like I get it. Like recently, people have been getting on Cheyenne Bryan. I understand, but when I saw Jamal Bryant get on Cheyenne Bryan, I'm like, wait, time out. You gonna talk about? You know what? We tripping now. Because a lot of times what winds up happening is, you wind up having these situations where you start looking at it like, oh, okay. So some of y'all, this Game of Thrones for y'all, if y'all could shoot somebody out the sky, y'all will. When everybody's on this BS anyways. Because even getting back to the religious part, I started looking at it, I'm like, yo, so, because I don't think y'all realize, I mean, some of y'all do realize this, but some people might not have realized when the pandemic happened, people were more in tune with social media because they couldn't go outside than church. Pastors really got upset because people was on their phone online and they wasn't really donating and they couldn't come to the, they weren't watching the services like that. So how dare you be on YouTube when you not donating to the church during the pandemic? And it was the church had a hard time getting people back. So basically what they started doing was, hey man, I'm on here too. I'm on here too. Now I'm gonna watch this YouTube stuff, see what's going on, and I'm gonna make content about the same thing that other people was making content about. And I'm gonna back up by saying this. That's why I can't say it no other way. I'm gonna just call a spade a spade. Shout out to the whole Black manosphere. People who was in it from the beginning, the people who are in it now, the people who were staples of it and left. Shout out to everybody. This here is an absolute truth, especially on YouTube, and it's spread out to social media. What a lot of people did was take a lot of the topics, they hated on a lot of the topics, and then they basically repackaged it. They didn't have any, like they was like, "Ooh, I could do this." There's no way to say this nicely, but I could do this better than them because I'm a dabble more in the stereotypes and effery to get people involved. You get what I'm saying? So partially what I'm talking about is just like preaching. It's like being online sometimes is like preaching. What preacher do most people want to hear? The preacher that hoops, hollers, and don't say nothing. That's what goes on. So a person can tell you, look, man, the Bible's telling you this. If you do this, you will be on a track to be blessed. Can't tell you when it's going to happen. Can't tell you where it's going to happen, but it's going to happen if you do this, and this. They don't want to hear that. You know what I'm saying? So if they want to hear the pastor, if I just want to understand that if you come to the Lord, come to the Lord for $14.99 right now. If you come to the Lord with $120, if you sow a seed of $275.99, I could promise you, God gonna love you for that. If you will never get blessed as long as you don't give me, I mean God, at least $500 today. He's like, he ain't saying that. Oh, but the Spirit got me. Cut the organ on. Sing. Come on now, sing. Hit the drums. Come on now. We gonna get these mother. It's like, okay. It's the same thing. So, and the reason I'm saying this, and like you could do it for the algorithm, you could sell your soul, because truth be told, there was a time when us as content creators tested it out. We tested it out with the audience. Like, yeah, it just went up. It went up. Yep. I did all that stupid man, people came in, it was clockwork. And I dumbed it down. I remember there was a time I was doing a live long time ago. And I was just chilling, doing my thing. And then somebody came in the chat and I was like, what's happening? And they was like, yo, I'm finna show you. Basically, like, I'm finna open it up. And it just blew up. And I was like, and I'm looking, and I was like, I appreciate that, but nah, y'all could leave. Hell no. Like that. And, some days I was like, maybe I shouldn't have did that. Some days I'm like, no, that was the right thing, because you telling me this whole time, all these people was available, but all of a sudden somebody was just like I decide when people come. I'm like, man, if that's the case, get out. That's how I felt at the time. That's still how I feel though. You know, that's still how I feel. It's like, yo, but there are people who because I remember this. Oh man, he changed his name, but Mr. Research. I remember he went. I didn't realize people were going up to the YouTube offices to talk to people. Like, yo, I need this, I need this, I need this. And they used to meet with people, meet with content creators. And if y'all remember, there were a lot of content creators who they went in waves. Because I remember there was a wave where they had like the LGBT wave, right? And I say that because that was it was like a trans lady or dude that went up there and just started wilding out. But they had that wave. They had the kids, you know, the family with the kids wave. You know, they had the like the prank wave. What was that doggone thing? There was a certain wave. God dog it. Toys, you know, the toy wave is part of the kid wave, but there was a certain they've been wave after wave of thing, like before the political thing. You know, before the political thing, there was wave after wave after wave of these waves. Oh, the conspiracy theory wave. That's what it was. The conspiracy theories, because they had a bunch of channels that blew up doing conspiracy theories. And I remember how they were just 1 minute everything was all good, and then be like, yo, they cutting this, they cutting that, they cutting this, and people will be like, you know, they'll tell you shadow banning wasn't a real thing and it didn't exist, and then all of a sudden somebody who was getting 100,000 views per video is getting 2,000, and it's like, what the fuck happened? Who cut the water off? It's like, yeah, man, and sometimes you saw people pivot. You know, I would say one of the best examples of that would be, what's your boy name? Funky Dineva. Because he used to be doing videos with a wig on with a beard during that whole like LGBT wave, you know, and then it went from this to that to this, you know, he evolved with it. Because a lot of people because he wasn't the only one like that, but there was a lot of people who didn't make it through that wave. All the conspiracy channels had to do something different. All of them. Because I forgot one of the brothers, he was hurt. Like, I can't believe this. Like, just now all of a sudden everything I do is wrong. You know, it was that type of thing. And part of this, I got to go back. Well, I don't have to go back when I say this. Part of the concept of doing it for the algorithm is it's usually a bigger issue because of the racial dynamic. Because white people could do pretty much whatever. It's not a big deal. You know what I'm saying? They, you know, if they gaming, cool, it'll blow up. If they're just doing a regular commentary, cool, it'll blow up. Because I remember when TED Talks was not big, and then YouTube had a version of it, or Google had a version of it. I forget which one it was, but I was like, dang, this thing is starting out. It's cool. And then I stopped watching it for like 3 months, and the next thing I know, I'm like, yo, I don't know what just happened, but you couldn't have came and just had, you know, a month ago, you know, you was just starting out, and a month later you got 500,000 subscribers. I'm like, I'm not buying it. Because I remember, and I'm saying this because of, like, I brought up the Hodge twins earlier, right? The Hodge twins was into fitness, and they were just they had personality. They have and had personality the whole time. But I remember them starting out with fitness. They were, vets, and they were working out in the gym, hilarious, just talking hilariously on camera. And around that time, Essence Magazine had a page, because what it was it was a thing on YouTube where they didn't count the videos like one for one anymore. Like they cut it off. Like you had to wait till it went to like you got 300 views, and then they say you had 301 and stuff like that. It was different time. And this was the beginning of, from my opinion, when people realized they got to do it for the algorithm. Because what happened was, and you saw this a lot with Black YouTube creators, and I'm using Essence because I talked about this before, but people don't probably not remember. Essence had 0 views on a video and like 200-300 comments. You be sitting there talking about what? You click on a video, it says 0 views. Comments like 200-300 comments. I'm like, okay, yeah, they on one out here. And because that was the thing when people was like, my views were getting suppressed. And I realized like people started kind of switching up. Like, let me be more entertaining. Like I can't, like doing it, like shout out to O'Shea. O'Shea always had personality. O'Shea always been like that. That's who he is. So from all of the different things he was doing, he's always been him. He has a big personality. He likes people with big personalities. That's why part of the Rumble was off the chain, But part of sometimes people with big personalities is big egos, unnecessary egos sometimes, really, but big egos just get mad and off. Like I learned, because of the egos, people are real bitchy. And you could get some fame on YouTube, you could get some money on YouTube, but sometimes I've learned, once people go into that character, they don't cut it off. They can't cut it off. And then it's like, because people was taking offense to shit that wasn't offensive, and people was just being asshole for no reason. Like, and I'm saying, like, we doing it for the algorithm, doing it for views. And I'm like, and I'm thinking to myself, y'all doing stuff online with people you don't know, sometimes people you do know, and you out of pocket because it makes for good quote unquote TV, but you don't realize you could go in public and somebody can knock your teeth out. That's the point of it. I start looking at people like, why would you do that? Like, you got people who do it, who can do it for the algorithm and make a gang of money, and you got people who don't make a lot of money on this stuff at all. And then you got people who catch waves, like on social media. Like I still, right now, I'm still cracking up with old boy who do them. I can't even call them half push-ups, but he got 30 instantly. He got a wave going doing them fake push-ups, and it's dope. It's hilarious. I'm cool with it. Do it. That's what I'm talking about. Do it for the algorithm. You could do that, but then you got other people, and you're like, bro, why are you out here? Like, I remember there was a dude. Like, people forget this. I remember when Deontay Wilder, the former heavyweight champion, he was promoting a fight, and he said, if I get such and such and such, I'm gonna knock out a fan. I'm gonna knock out a fan. So the views just skyrocketed. So he hit his number. He walked behind the gym and had a actual like fan, like a fan, as in like, a plug-in fan. He uppercutted the fan. But but there was a white guy who was on YouTube, all other social media things. He was having these boxing videos where he would act like, yo, I'm just gonna man, what? Man, no. We do time to time. O'Shea be like, let's do it, man. Like, look, bro. O'Shea do a lot, bro. I'm gonna say that he does a lot, man. He does a lot, and I'm so happy for that guy. That man. I'm so happy for that man. He does a lot. He does everything he got. He deserves. He earned it. Like, if he want to do that stuff, if he don't want to do that, I don't care. He gonna be that's my dog regardless. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just want him to grow and get bigger. Truth be told, but that's a lot of people on this YouTube thing. I feel the same. Well, him more, but I feel that same way about a lot of people. I'm always have love for BGS too. Like Z, Roger, but I don't talk to people a lot anymore. Like, I don't call and all that. I'm not a big caller. So I'm kind of in my own world, life, I say that. But let me get back to this topic. My bad. Shout out to Edward. Solo. What winds up happening, like I've seen people do this stuff for the algorithm, right? And I've noticed, because sometimes it's anxiety. I'll say that it's anxiety. It's anxiety. Like, damn, people going, like, for the people who making money on it, it's just business. It's clockwork. And a lot of those people learn. A lot of people in a good way learn. Hey, man, let me mix it up, because people gonna want this, people gonna want that, people gonna want this, people gonna want that. That's partially why Kevin, before he blew up, was saying O'Shea was a genius, because he ain't lying about that. He is not lying about that. Like, because I was talking to him about Kevin before Kevin blew up. We were talking on the phone. He was like, yo, because him and Kevin was cool. He was like, yo, Kevin, he said he finna try something different. He's like, I don't know how this gonna work, but I'm finna watch. And it was what it was. But Kevin did it for the algorithm, in the sense of he changed the perspective, because he would always say, yo, and and a long time ago, he told me this. He's like, yo, get your presentation. If you do your presentation, the more along the way he did it, he was like, yo, I think you would go a lot further. And I was like, you might, and I told him, you might be right, but I'm just gonna be me, because I've seen people make it be themselves, and I ain't gonna and I do a lot too. So outside of this, like, this ain't really about me. Let me talk about, get back to the algorithm. It's 10:30. So this is what I'm gonna do. For a short time, y'all gonna meet me. So let me get to it. So here's the thing. So people out here, they do shit for the algorithm. They do a lot of hoe shit. Okay? A lot of people get online and do a lot of hoe shit. And as I said before, like with the WWE type shit, it's like, oh my God, I didn't know he or she would do that. And it's just to hook you in. People do hoe shit all the time online. It's for attention seeking purposes. You get what I'm saying? It's for attention seeking purposes. So when people are doing it for the algorithm, you got to understand, some people are going to be hoes. Some people are hoes for the algorithm. If this is what's going on, I'm gonna do that. If that's what's going on, I'm gonna do that. Like, everybody can't make a wave. A lot of people just ride a lot of different waves. And part of the problem with that is, part of the problem with that process is what happens is you have people who build waves and you have people who ride waves that other people built, and they take those waves, they ride those waves farther than the person who built them. And then people act brand new. That's partially the issue that people talk about, like with Kendrick G and what's the dude, Ace Metaphor, like and even Derek Jackson, he fucked himself up, but whatever. You get what I'm saying? But people, but he was doing whole shit for the algorithm too. See, all of that stuff comes into play, where, like, damn. Well, I got to do it. So, if I wanted, like, if I really wanted, the guys more so, all I would have to do for the algorithm is have conversations with attractive women who talk overly sexual. See, a lot of times when y'all talking to these cats be talking on the red pill and the red pill this, the red pill that, most of them guys ain't really women's type. So part of them, you know, they're doing it for the algorithm. They're doing it for the algorithm. They come off as women haters because they can't really get women. And then you got the coven of guys who can't get women too. Like, yeah, it's like, no. If you really wanted to do it for the algorithm, all you had to do, and Fresh and Fit would have been so much bigger, but they don't know how to talk to chicks. If you got attractive chicks to talk about life and be overly sexual, and then you got the cool chicks to talk about the same shit. See, a lot of these guys ain't really player like that. They can't do that. I'm married now. I ain't gonna do that shit. But you could do that for the algorithm. Same thing with the women. You know, the women talk all this shit about men. They just looking for a guy that's attractive, that has a handsome face, an in-shape body, you know, that they can fantasize about getting knocked down by. That was Derek Jackson's whole appeal. You know, but you could do that shit without pandering as hard. You don't have to do all of that. You know what I'm saying? But if you want to do that, you can do that. It's not a big deal. Like, in a positive way, you see a lot of overweight people who have channels of here's my weight loss journey. You know, it's like, okay, cool. And other people follow it because other people are overweight and that's what they do. Same thing I'm about to get for the people who are political. Most of the people that talk about politics, to be perfectly honest with you, they halfway retarded. They ain't talking about politics. Most of the time you see these people who say they talking about politics, they're talking about racial issues and class issues. They're not talking about politics. Because they're not talking about a policy. So they hide racism and classism behind politics. That's all they're doing. Oh, did you see what happened? Oh my God. Did you see what? Look at this. Did you see that? It's like, why y'all never talk about what these people are actually doing in office? Because most of them people ain't doing shit. So we're gonna talk about racial stories. And we're going to talk about this person is rich and this person is so rich, they're going to do this and it's going to mess up working class and poor people. Yeah. And they get people all in their emotions. Oh man, this is messed up. No, G. No. That's not a political channel. They're not an activist. We're not talking about, they talking about activism, but they supposed to be talking about politics. Two completely different things. Same thing, you know, you see it even online with the sports content. Most of the people doing sports content halfway retarded. That's why y'all still, who's the GOAT? Jordan or LeBron? Listen, don't listen to people who don't know what the fuck they talking about. If you've never seen a person play, you can't call them to go to anything. That's what it is. Think about that. That's what, like, people create arguments for the algorithm to get you involved, and it's like most of these arguments are stupid. Since I'm saying that, get into the FBA delineation argument. What do you hear people arguing about? Why you want to be FBA? We already Black American. They just put another word in front of it. That's it. How dare you be something other than? It's like, bro, shut your ass up. You know, somebody want to be, if people want to change their name, this is what it is. Fine. You can be you, I can be me. But this is what people are arguing about. And then you get, I heard you talking about me. Don't nobody give a fuck about nobody. That's what people just doing it for the algorithm. Because even with the FBA part, us Black Americans know one thing for sure. People gonna come to this country and complain about us. We know that absolutely. People gonna come from whatever country they from, come here and just as soon as the plane land and complain about us. It's like, what the fuck is wrong with y'all? We know this already. So if we say, look, we separating ourselves, you go, oh, why did you hate us? Don't nobody give a fuck about you. Uh-oh. Man. Shit. Sorry, man. Amber Alert. I'm getting, man, these kids be coming up missing every. Say, bro, I'm going to say this. This ain't even got nothing to do with the topic, but don't let me come across somebody who stole a child and been on an Amber Alert. I'm going to be all on the news in a bad way. I'm going to be all on the news. I hate y'all, man. Y'all out here snatching kids up. I hate people like y'all. You're going to deal with a grown man. And I'm not going to. Don't bring up God with me because it's going to be way too late. God ain't gonna have nothing to do with what I'm gonna do to you. He gonna step away like, hey, you know what? I'm out. But you know, keeping up with like just like people talking about like doing it for the algorithm, man. Yes, some people, man. Y'all gotta understand, man. Some people are doing this. They're doing this shit on purpose, right? When I was talking about the sports argument, have you noticed, like, fuck it. Most of the people talking about relationships, conversations online, are not in relationships. And if they're attractive, they're on some dumb shit. And if they're unattractive, they complaining about everybody else but fixing themselves. You see, but they doing it for attention. Like the shit is baked into the cake. Most of the people talking about sports are fat. Most of the people with the craziest takes on sports are fat and out of shape, and you can tell we're never athletic. They make no fucking sense. But hey man, you know, most of the people, and I'm gonna be honest with you, most of the people who want to be nerds and anime and cosplay and let's talk about this new anime and this Spider-Man. Man, most of y'all too fucking old for that shit. That's just being honest. Same thing with you guys wrestling. You're too old for that shit. And it looks like you're in Arrested Development, but some of y'all don't realize you're doing this shit on purpose. That's what's going on. A lot of this stuff, like you have people who that's who they are, and you have people who are cosplaying that. See, there are people who are cosplaying being interested in these things. There are people who are cosplaying, yo, man, you know, this is me. No, it's not. They just know it like same thing when y'all see women half naked talking about anime. They didn't like the shit. Half naked playing video games. They didn't really like the shit. They just knew, hey, if I do this, I'm gonna get some money. I'm gonna get some attention because ain't nobody over here. You got men doing the same shit. Same stupid shit. You know, people go, no, they're not doing that. Yes, the fuck they are. Yes, they are. You know, because you got to take into consideration. Some people, there are a lot of people who were able to stop working in the workforce from doing videos. And some of those people did it in a cool, nice way. And some of those people sold the fuck out. Do you think they care? No. They don't care. Because that's how they're making their bread. You can get mad at them. You can go, oh man, this is a travesty. It's not. It's not. The travesty is you take these motherfuckers serious. I can't believe he said that. Some of these people will say they sleep with a dog if it could get views. And you'll be mad. I can't believe he said. As long as YouTube allow it, they'll say it. They'll make a video sneaking up on dogs in the park. Like, oh, I'm going to do it today. I'd be like, no, he wouldn't. Yes. Yes, they would. Yes, they would. But like, people like take this stuff, just take into consideration. People will do anything. And I'm saying that because as much as people talk about the economy is bad, the economy is going into the tank. Oh my God, people are losing jobs. Watch what you see. Don't you see more of these dudes getting online trying to be Chud the Builder? You know, who in their right mind gonna walk out into the street with a camera and just throwing out racial slurs? You're doing it for the algorithm. You're this. Don't talk to me. Like, what? You may tell me you guys dressed, got a camera on, and went out at nighttime to start shit with people. Right. I'm not, we need to talk and interact. No. People do this for views. You know, just that's why you see when you see male trainers online, shirts off. Hey, showing off the product, baby. You know, that's all this is about. So I'm like, man, like some of y'all, like some people are just having fun, man. If people are having fun, let them have fun. But if people are out here doing reckless shit, man, don't you know, why you ain't got to feed into it. But if a lot of times they know it's going to entertain you. And mark my words before I get out of here. Football season about to start. So watch they ramp up what they need to do to get your attention. Watch. As soon as that kickoff starts, oh man, what I gotta do now. Watch. I know what's gonna happen. They gonna target your damn kids, high school kids in school. Make up topics so the kids can argue about that shit. You know, 30, 40, 50-year-old people saying shit. That's why you get, hold up, let me back this up. Why do you think it is that you got people, teenagers, early 20s, talking this stupid shit about relationships? That's why I don't want nobody to Shut up. You don't even know how to wipe your ass right yet. Just because you listening to people making videos on YouTube and shit don't mean they know what the fuck they talking about. Stop letting these people tell you some shit that you don't understand. It sound good to you. You know, I deserve this. I deserve that. You deserve a swift kick in the ass for believing half this shit. Let the incels on the internet tell y'all how life's supposed to be when they ain't never left the fucking house. And it don't dawn on you until you 25, like, what the fuck was I listening to them for? Exactly. I ain't finna listen to no, what was it, my 600-pound life for weightlifting advice. But that's what motherfuckers do. I'm gonna show you how to eat 7 chickens in one sitting. And with that, you're gonna have a 6-pack. You're gonna look like Lee Haney. You're gonna look like Arnold Schwarzenegger after you eat the 6th chicken. Follow me next week. We're gonna be doing donuts. And y'all sitting here like Cartman, I'm beefcake. Like, fucking crazy. So just remember, like, people doing it for the algorithm, man. They'll say any fucking thing. Anything. But let me get out of here. That's why you got the Adam 22s and shit. They say anything. But man, I'm out, man. I'm gonna catch y'all on the next one, man. I gotta get out of here, get some sleep. Peace.
It looks like a job for Superman.
I do this,
Spoken from the lips of the young or the old, fear of me.
Yeah. Gotta put it all in.
And they are Superman.
All the way.
I guess I'm taking off the cape through the glasses in the trash. Being super is great, saving y'all is such a drag. Even God took a break, me I ain't coming back. I got one life to live, if you don't like it, that's your ass. Cause nobody saved me, cause when I walk, I'm just a peon. I could use somebody just like I'm the kings of neon. This world is cold as ice, mixed with salt, mixed with freon. They got me pissed off, but that's better than being peed on. For eons, human beings took kindness for weakness. When you constipated, you start to appreciate shit. Put before you life and death, and you just gotta choose. The kryptonite life means you still follow the rules. If your credit's messed up or your bills ain't paid, then it's getting disconnected. Can't nobody say the day. And I can fly, leave a building in a single bound, but I can't stand fair weather friends, and I just fly around. My super friends in Justice League, only folk I kick it with. Kill Lex Luthor, so what, we had to finish it. Kids play games and adults play for keeps. And me, I play to win, but I ain't playing in these streets. And life is not a joke, then again it ain't this serious. Superman can say the day, but God can say the Superman. Saga of the kryptonite, life just ended. You enjoy listening? Man, I finished it. Lois, come holler at me. I got an ice couch. Thank you for coming out, listening. I knew you would like it because we made it. I'm so frigid and so fly.